In tonight's Health Edge, a new school year means new health concerns for many parents.
Yeah, tonight Chief Health Editor Dr. Partha Nandi is answering your questions. All right, Doc, let's start with ADHD.
Yeah, important. A new report finds children are being diagnosed with ADHD at younger ages. In fact, 1/3 have been diagnosed before age of 6. To me, yeah, it's concerning, but you know what? I think most doctors are following the guidelines. So people are saying, you know, this is super young for kids. So I think people are concerning, but it may be eye-opening.
So how do you know if it's really ADHD as opposed to kids just being kids? Because I remember when my son was young, he was bouncing off the walls and he wasn't.
And so here's an important question. So young kids, especially when they're 6, are acting like young children, and some of those behaviors that you diagnose ADHD with are those of young children. So it's a fine line. I would say that, you know what, I believe we're probably over-diagnosing a little bit. And I think we should probably step back. Key is that, you know, 18% of kids are being diagnosed with ADHD with their parents saying this is what I've you know, observed, not the doctors or school officials saying that. Also, 1 in 10 they're not using the behavioral scale you're supposed to. So they're following the guidelines, but not specifically. So I think we are overdiagnosing quite a few kids.
And are we over-medicating kids because of it? And do you need to have medication to treat ADHD?
The important thing, Joanne, is that 80% of kids with ADHD actually get better with medication. So it's hard to poo-poo medications.
Right.
Having said that, when they're as young as 6, almost all folks say that, you know what, behavioral therapy is important. What else is important is, guess what? Sleep, exercise. You know, you want to make sure you have well-balanced activities, and a diet is important. So you do a lot before going to medicines. But if you have to, obviously it's 80% effective, but don't jump right in it, especially when they're 6 years of age.
Oh, absolutely, so young. And speaking of sleep, you know, a lot of kids are heading back to school this week, and their sleep schedules are off, and I guess parents are asking about whether it's safe to give their kids melatonin.
Yeah, you know, my kids, just like probably yours, are fighting tooth and nail to keep that same
summer
night schedule, right? They're like, you're trying. But here's the thing, you know what? I think that melatonin is something that your body releases normally and as your sun goes down. So people think, well, what's the harm, right? You get the same hormone your body's producing. Wrong, it doesn't work the same way. So I don't like it as a first-line therapy, but if you use it for kids who truly have insomnia, truly have problems, not an issue. It can be used safely. I wouldn't use it first line. First line, what I would do is do exactly what you said. Give them good sleep schedules. Don't activate them, meaning that, you know, don't give them 16 activities in school where they're so tired. Give 1 or 2 activities as they can handle it. Important stuff. Just do some common knowledge activities that make sure they get enough rest, enough nutrition, and they should be fine. If they need it, you can use it safely.
And also, don't have their faces in their electronics till right before they go to bed, right?
Yeah, until 2 o'clock. I was telling Stephen, is that I also take the TV away from their rooms, because they're up, and teenagers up until 2 o'clock watching TV. They're on their Facebooking and Instagramming. You know, it's just, it gets out of control.
Keep the phones downstairs too, right?
Exactly. Phones and
wake
TV.
up in the middle of the night and answer that text.
You're right.
And then they go to bed and they're tired all day long. And guess what that gives you? False diagnosis of ADHD. When you don't sleep, you have no attention span and you have overactivity. So what happens is they're misdiagnosed ADHD because not getting enough sleep.
Oh, full circle.
Right,
You're good, Dr. Nandi. All right, thank you so much. And if you have a question or a health concern for the good doctor here, you can email him drnandy@wxyz.com or send it to us on Facebook or Twitter.